The Friday Sessions with Emma and Dom.
Hello there everybody, welcome to another episode of The Friday Sessions, bi-weekly music feature from Cornerstone. My name is Dom and I'm one of your hosts for today, and I'm joined as always by Emma up in the top left corner there. Say hello, Emma.
Hello. Hey, as always, guys, cheeky as knees, fed up of me already. We're a little bit on the fiddle today, not to say that we're dodgy. You'll find out more about that later on. About the comments, we love it when you comment. We hope to start another heated conversation as we did that time. But just to say, think Otis Redding, try a little tenderness. So this evening, a little bit later on, we have Cornerstone's neighbour and much beloved performer, Robyn Shannon. I like to think of him as a little bit of my birthday treat because it's my birthday next week. And before that, we will have Richard's classic album. There was a vote for this one, so you can find out which one won, although I do think it might say it somewhere already. I think I have seen it. But if you're lazy, you'll find out shortly. And before all of that, we've got a real earworm of a track and a band that are new to the Friday Sessions. Who have we got, Dom?
Okay, so straight from the American Midwest, or so they claim, we have a band by the name of Troubshort and Turnipseed appearing up there. We've got two of them in the photo there. There are a couple more of them, but they are bringing us a lovely song called Rob That Train, which is all about, as you might expect, holding up a train in our fair county of Oxfordshire. We do hope you enjoy it. We're just going to get straight on and play it. This is Troubshort and Turnipseed with Rob That Train.
Yeah. It was in the year of 45 at the age of 92, or perhaps the other way around, whatever, up to you. I led a gang of desperate men through mountains, hills and plains, drinking beer and robbing banks and holding up the trains. But the day we stopped the Glendale train was the day it all went wrong, as a load of passengers got down from half the way along. They were the weirdest looking folks you'd ever seen, always lads, all dressed in anoraks and holding notebooks in their hands, as we robbed that train, robbed that train, robbed that train in the morning. Yes, we robbed that train, robbed that train, robbed that train in the morning. Well, I did not pay them too much heed. I set the dynamite all around the door of the bullion car and set the fuse alight. And then I shouted out, "Take cover, y'all, there's gonna be a blast." When the voice said, "Oh, how interesting, I'm a train enthusiast. Oh yes, we're on a tour from Didcot. Oh, I say, this does look fun. Is this a real live hold-up? Oh, will you show us how it's done?" As we robbed that train, robbed that train, robbed that train in the morning. Yes, we robbed that train, robbed that train, robbed that train in the morning. Well, the charges, they exploded, but the door did not fall. And a voice behind me said, "Oh dear me, that won't do at all. Oh no, it's no use using dynamite. You won't blow in that door. It's been reinforced at the Northwest Railroad Yards in Baltimore, but shall I show you how to open it?" Well, you should have heard the laughs. But then with one almighty flash, they all took photographs as we robbed that train, robbed that train, robbed that train in the morning. Yes, we robbed that train, robbed that train, robbed that train in the morning. Well, we all hightailed it out of there. We did not want to hang, not with 100 English train spotters or with pictures of the gang. Well, some guys fled to Mexico and some they fled elsewhere. And one guy fled to Hartlepool, think he's got a sister there. But me, I fled to Paraguay. Yeah, long way to run. But you know, we fled to Mexico last year. Paraguay sure looks fun. Now I'm sat here by the hotel pool with a beer and a good book. Oh yeah, I took that gold before I left. Ain't stupid as I look. When we robbed that train in the morning. Yes, we robbed that train in the morning.
And welcome back there, folks. Thank you very much to Troubshort and Turnipseed for that lovely rhythmic track to start us off. I really felt like I was on a train being held up whilst surrounded by train spotters there. That was a cracking little number to kick us off with. But even more impressive than the music, what I particularly enjoyed was the fact that was recorded with all members of the band observing safe social distancing guidelines. Obviously very important in this day and age. But the reason I was quite enthused by that is I think if we're able to make music as bands again whilst observing that kind of distancing, I think that's a really good sign that music can be on its way back sooner rather than later. Just something we're all very, very excited about. Emma?
I liked it very much. I must admit that when you were introducing it, I was a little bit confused because I thought, Thomas the Tank Engine?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was a song about a train named Rob.
I see where the confusion's come from, but I can assure you there is no comma in that song title. It's not Rob That Train, it's just Rob That Train.
Also, it'd be a bit rude. Rob That Train. I'm sorry, all the northern people. My parents are up north. Don't write in. Although you do write in the comments, because I don't think anybody had last time I checked. So, next we've got the classic album countdown. But I'm really sorry, Dom, I didn't tell you about this. Mm-hmm. I asked a special guest to come. Oh, really? I asked a Mr. David Bowie.
Oh, they are not getting any better, folks. I do apologise now.
And it might get worse. So,
Emma, I am beginning to wonder if these little Friday sessions that we're doing, if they're just going to be like a chronicle of our slow descent into madness over lockdown. What do you reckon? There you go. Anyway, moving on to our next section. I've got Richard appearing just in that direction. Got to get it right today. There we go. Richard's here with another edition of Classic Album Countdown. And if you couldn't guess by that very thinly veiled joke we've popped in, the winner of last time's Classic Album Countdown vote was David Bowie's Let's Dance. And Richard is going to tell us all about that. Take it away, Richard.
Thanks, Dom and Emma, for another fantastic episode so far of the Friday sessions. Last week, we asked you to vote between two great albums from 1983. One, David Bowie, Let's Dance, and the other one was the Ramones, Subterranean Jungle. It was very close, but in the end, David Bowie, Let's Dance was the winner. So tonight's classic album is David Bowie, Let's Dance.
5.
David Bowie's Let's Dance, released on April the 14th, 1983. It was his 18th studio album. Rolling Stone magazine famously quoted at the time, glasses on, this was the conclusion of arguably the greatest 14-year run in rock history. Very true. Although after the release of Let's Dance, the rest of the 80s, David Bowie himself said it was his Phil Collins years.
4.
Tony Visconti produced all 17 albums previous to Let's Dance. For this album, David Bowie went to Nile Rodgers because he wanted a more commercially buoyant album, which of course he did get from this album. Nile Rodgers of Chic fame, of course. Although Bowie and Visconti didn't really talk again for another 20 years until they recorded the Heathen album together in 2002.
3.
China Girl, the third single off the album Let's Dance, was originally written by Iggy Pop back in 1977. When David Bowie asked Nile Rodgers to produce that track, Nile Rodgers actually thought it was a drug reference to China, meaning cocaine, in the New York scene back in the early 80s. So quite a dark subject, so he tried to produce an uplifting production of China Girl. And when he went back to Bowie with the production, he found out that it was actually about Iggy Pop's obsession with a lady from Taiwan. But even so, David Bowie loved the production of China Girl, and it went on to be a massive hit.
2.
Following on from the interview and performance a couple of weeks ago of Mark Harrison, fans of the blues may lack this next fact. Stevie Ray Vaughan performed on this album. He met Bowie a year before at the Montreux Jazz Festival. He wasn't very aware of Bowie's work, but they chatted and he was amazed how much Bowie loved roots and blues music. He performed on every track on the album. Stevie Ray Vaughan with David Bowie.
1.
And finally, fact number 1. I couldn't believe this one. It turns out the album was actually recorded at the power station. I couldn't believe this local connection, so I looked into it a little bit more. And it's true, it was actually recorded at the power station. Turns out it wasn't the power station in Didcot, it was the power station in Manhattan, New York. It was a recording studio with the same name, although it was originally a power station back in the 70s. Joking apart, put the record on, listen to it from beginning to end, and enjoy it. Now, back to Dom and Emma in the studio.
And welcome back there, folks. Thank you, Richard, again, for another really interesting edition of the Classic Album Countdown there. I always find I learn something, at least one thing I didn't know in Richard's little talks. And this week it was that the song China Girl was originally written by Iggy Pop. I found that quite surprising, Emma.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite surprised at that. And wasn't he cheeky with his little power station thing at the end there?
He definitely was. For a brief moment, I thought we were going for the most tenuous of tenuous local references, but sadly not, unfortunately.
But well voted. It's a good album. We've got 2 more good albums for you. I think it's even tougher actually this time, coming up at the end of the show. So watch out for those. And then next we have got the lovely Robyn Shannon. I think I probably met him within days of starting to work at Cornerstone, so he feels very much a part of the Cornerstone team, although we don't pay him. Maybe we should.
I mean, Emma. No, I'm not going to say that. That's mean. That's mean.
That's you, though, isn't it? A bit mean. But one of the songs that is my favourite of his, that's very complicated on a Friday night, is the Fight Me or Marry Me song. If you've seen us live with Robyn, you'll know how much I love this song. I talk about it a lot, and I annoy Dom by talking about it a lot. And I'd like to take this opportunity to say, Dom, will you fight me or marry me?
Well, Emma, my answer to that is the same as it's always been. Put 'em up. Oh dear. All joking aside there, yeah, it is a fantastic little song. It's a favourite of mine as well. I really love the story behind this song, and as well as being a fantastic musician, Robyn is also a fantastic storyteller. And a lot of his songs have really interesting stories behind them, and he's going to tell you about a few of them. So, appearing on your screen right about now is Mr. Robyn Shannon. If you've been watching the Friday sessions from the start, you would have seen him on our very first edition, and now here he is performing a feature-length set for us. So take it away, Robyn.
So this first song is called Dance With Me. I wrote it maybe 10 years ago. It's a bit of a waltz, very much in the folk style, and I hope you enjoy. There she is, spinning her way through the trees. There she is, dancing along. Arms up wide, hands firmly clasped by the leaves. There she is, dancing alone, and she sings la la la, dum da da dum, la dum da 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 dum dum dum, da da dum. Step by step, gracefully led by the trees, turning round with glee in her eyes. Waltzing, laughing, changing, come dance with me, please. Here I am, dancing alone, and she sings la la la, la da da dum, la da 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 dum dum dum. She says, dance with me, come draw me near and sing with me. There's nothing to fear, and dance with me. Don't make me dance this alone. Don't make me dance this alone. There she goes, curtsying now to the trees, turning round with embracing the dark. Step by step, pulled into the night by the leaves. Here I am, dancing alone, and I sing la la la, la da da da, la da 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 dum dum dum. I said, dance with me, come draw me near and sing with me. There's nothing to fear, and dance with me. Come make me dance this alone. Don't make me dance this and dance with me. Come draw me near and sing with me. There's nothing to fear, and dance with me. Don't make me dance this alone, alone. Don't make me dance this alone. So this song, the story behind this song comes from a book I found at Berkshire Folktales about a rather unconventional courtship in Chalcot near Reading. And this song is called Fight Me or Marry Me. Young Frances danced across the room, she skipped across the hall, a crowd of fawning gentles at her heels. For once a young man caught her eye, he sat aloof and watched her glide, and Frances danced away towards him, contrived to join him in his meal. He gave her oysters one by one, and passion flushed she was undone. Rising she fled quickly from his side. Frances knew not what to do, for Frances knew not how to woo. To gain control she schemed throughout the night. Oh, lie-de-die, lie-de-die, this lover's game is not for me. Lie-de-die, lie-de-die-de-die. Find me or marry me, one way decided this will be. Benjamin awoke next day and went to break his fast, thinking of the woman in his snare. Sitting he received a letter, Joe was cold, he stifled terror. Nemesis and hope was signed, he had no choice, could see how he would fare. A choice of backsword greeted him, a masked young man awaited him. Young Francis stood concealed before his eyes. Ben was quick, but she was quicker. Round his head her blade did flicker. He hit the floor, she shed her disguise. Oh, lie-da-die, oh, lie-da-die, die. This lover's game is not for me. Lie-da-die, lie-da-die-da-die, die. We thought we married, that way decided this shall be. I choose marriage, if I may. Love, you've bested me today. I choose marriage, if I may. Let us wed without delay. Fight me or marry me. Fight me or marry me. Fight me or marry me, my love. I said, fight me or marry me. Fight me or marry me. Fight me or marry me, my love. Oh, I'd like to die, die. This lover's game's not for me. Oh, like to die, die. We thought we married, that way decided this has been.
So for this one, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I normally play this song on the guitar, but I thought I would give it a go on the fiddle. I've been playing around with how I make it work. It's still very much trial and error, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway. This is another folk song. It starts with a small snippet of a well-known traditional English folk song called Over the Hills and Far Away, and then goes into my own song called Sun Walk On By, and I hope you enjoy. There's 15 shillings on the drum to those who volunteer to come to fight that foreign foe today. Over the hills, far away, o'er the hills and o'er the main, to Flanders, Portugal and Spain. King George commands and we obey. Over the hills, far away. They came into town calling, come join your brothers, boys, fight for your family and your land. They came into town calling, well pray your handsome boys, just step along and join the band. The enemy are massing, fight for your country, boys, foreign hordes are waiting overseas. Come, let's find glory, we'll all be heroes, boys, just step in line and march with me. And my father clasped my hand and he said, son, walk on by, don't join that company. The cause they fight is nothing of your own. He said, son, walk on by, come walk away with me. Don't call yourself a patriot, 'twill be the death of me. They came into town calling, come join your brothers, boys, fight for your family and your land. They came into town calling, well pray your handsome boys, step along and step in with the band. Hey enemy are massing, fight for your country, boys, foreign hordes are waiting overseas. And come, let's find glory, we'll all be heroes, boys, just step in line and march with me. And my father clasped my hand and he said, son, walk on by, don't join that company. The cause they fight is nothing of your own. He said, son, walk on by, come walk away with me. Don't call yourself a patriot, 'twill be the death of me. So I went and joined their army, I went and joined their band, believing every promise that was said. And now there's poor lads to the left of me, poor lads to the right of me, ranks and ranks of poor lads up ahead. And he said, son, walk on by, don't join that company. The cause they fight is nothing of your own. He said, son, walk on by, come walk away with me. Oh, I called myself a patriot, 'twas near the death of me.
And welcome back there, everybody. Thank you, Robyn, for that fantastic little set. My personal favourite out of the ones you performed today was actually Robyn's very first one, "Dance with Me." I don't know what it is about the sort of waltz rhythm, but I find it very almost very gothic in nature. I mean, my head was filled with images of spiders weaving webs around people. Very. I'm sorry, it's not Halloween yet. I'll save that for October. But whilst I was having my own little gothic moment there, some of you more observant watchers, audience, listeners, whoever you are, people watching me make a fool of myself on the internet, whatever your collective term is, you may have noticed on the back of Robyn's sofa in his first two songs, there was a tiny snowsuit. And rather than being a song by Elton John, I think that actually belongs to his little one. But Emma, I think you've got your own theory about what that might be.
I have, and we'll just let some of those spiders escape from Dom's head. I think that Robyn at night shrinks down, gets into that little snowsuit, and goes to rescue people who are stuck in the snow on like Everest or like in the Arctic. And I think actually he's a secret superhero. So, we hope you've enjoyed your evening. We are coming towards the end, but we're not there yet. Stay tuned. To be considered as one of the musicians performing on our show, or even just to ask us questions about whether or not you would be able to and how you would do it and things like that, do get in touch. The email address is below. It is cornerstoneopenmic@southoxon.gov.uk, and Dom and I will answer you. Next show, we've got one of my favourite ever performers, but that's all I'm telling you because I'm mean like that. And I am really looking forward to potentially quite a close and tricky album vote this week, Dom.
Yes, so following on from the fantastic response we had to the last one, the next Classic Album Countdown will also be decided by you, the listener. So I've got a little clip from Richard to outline your choices. And as with the last time, make sure to cast your vote either on YouTube or Facebook. And while you're at it, why not tell us your suggestions for an album you'd like to hear us talk about in the future. But that does sadly bring us to the end of tonight's Friday sessions. It's been a great little evening of music so far. Hope you all have a good rest of the evening. Thanks to everybody who's performed. Particularly thanks to Robyn, who I've seen has been active in the chat. Thank you again. Yes, my name's been Dom. Emma's been up in that corner. And we will see you again in 2 weeks' time. Stay safe, everybody, and keep listening to music. Good night.
2 modern classics for you to vote on now. Choose between Paul Weller's Stanley Road or Amy Winehouse Back to Black. 2 great albums. Vote now for which one you want us to cover in the next Friday sessions.
1, 2, 3. It's the Friday Sessions with Emma and Dom.